This is a restorative practice for easing symptoms of perimenopause and menopause to find patience and balance. And we're actually going to start in a reclined bound angle pose. So using your bolster lengthways along the mat. You can use a blanket to support the head as well. That just lifts the head up a little bit there. And then you can use either, if you've got extra blankets underneath the knees, or use your blocks as long as the corners of the blocks don't dig in anywhere. So it's a supported back bend, and then the knees are supported as well. Good. So starting to come into your posture, take time to make yourself comfortable. Supported, reclined, bound angle. The arms come out to the side of you, palms are face up. Soften the rib cage, surrounding your bolster underneath you. And really starting to give in to gravity here. This is a restorative practice, so very, very little effort needed, if any at all. Allow the props to hold and support you, and allow gravity to relax and ease you. And as you lie here, really feeling everything about your posture, everything that comes up for you, any sensations or experiences physically, mentally, and emotionally. Really allowing the breath to be soft, easy, effortless. Releasing, relaxing any tension and tightness in the muscles and in the joints. Giving in to the earth and just letting go. Begin to take a few deeper breaths, preparing yourself to move just by wiggling fingers, flipping the palms over, and then gently taking the hands to the thighs, lifting the legs together. Place the soles of the feet wide of your mat, dropping the knees in towards one another, and just soften there for a moment as you release from the bound angle. Notice how the body responds as you come out of the posture. And if you can, start to reach down towards your blankets or your blocks, just moving those out of the way. With as little movement, as little effort as possible, we're going to move over to one side and we're going to slide that bolster all the way down and underneath our knees. Come down onto your back and just rest with the bolster underneath the knees for a moment. So you can feel the pelvis start to spread out. The lower back releases. The belly becomes heavy, dropping the abdomen down, spreading through the middle back and the waist, and the shoulders and the upper back. Relax through the glutes and relax through the pelvic floor as much as you can. We'll come into our second posture, which is a supported bridge into a supported plow. So you're going to bring the heels in towards the bolster and slide the bolster underneath your sacrum. So lifting the hips up, rolling that all the way underneath you. Now making sure that your neck stays long and your head stays looking up towards the sky. Try and listen to my cues rather than look at the screen at any point here. So you're not going to turn your head one way when we're in the posture. Ground through the feet for the moment. Let the hips and the pelvis become heavy over that bolster. And then start to lift the right knee up and the left knee up. And then you can start to lift the legs closer towards the belly. Thighs drop in towards the belly. And if you feel that you need to, and you feel that that bolster could come a little bit higher towards the middle back, you can move that nice and gently as well. And here, your choice, keep the legs bent or softly bent, or start to straighten out the legs. Arms can go back down by the side of the mat, or you might like to take them just back behind you. Again, keep the gaze looking up towards the legs. Relaxing here. Making sure that bolster is really supporting you and the legs are just floating. We're not here for as long as some of the other postures. This is only a 3-minute hold. So with each exhale, those legs might start to drop a little bit deeper, drop closer towards the body, closer towards the face. And then bend at the knee, bring the heels back towards the buttocks, and then slowly roll yourself back up on top of the bolster as each foot lowers itself down to the mat. Come back into that supported bridge pose, Arms come by the side of the body. Keep gazing up towards the sky. Drop into the pelvis here. Really give in to the weight. Press down through the feet and the hands and lift the hips as you slide the bolster away from underneath you and roll down through the spine. Extend the legs all the way along the mat. Take a moment just to rest in a full Shavasana. Take a long, slow, deep breath in and a long, slow, deep breath out. Reminding ourselves of patience and balance. Nourishment and relaxation. Now, this one, we might need to do a little bit more movement to get into it. It's our legs up against the wall. So you can choose to have a bolster underneath the hips that is quite high. I'm going to go bolster. Use that one, or a blanket, so you can keep the blanket nice and flat, or you can use the blanket underneath the head, so the head's going to go supported there. This is where we need our strap, so it takes longer to get into the postures sometimes. We are going to tie the strap nice and gently around the calves, so that keeps them together. So just thread through the feet and then pull that, not too tight, but so that it holds the legs in place. That's it. So you just attach the little D-ring there. Okay. And then getting up onto the bolster is the hardest thing. And the legs go straight up the wall. So shuffle, shuffle, shuffle. There we are. So feet rest against the wall. If that's really uncomfortable for the legs, you can place the soles of the feet and soften into the knees just a little bit. Arms come out to the side of you, spreading the shoulder blades. Neck is long. Again, keep the gaze up towards the sky. Try not to turn the head or the neck. If you feel that that strap is a little bit too tight, you can loosen that strap. It's simply to hold the legs in place. And now really give in to this wonderful posture of legs up against the wall. Relaxing into the glutes, relaxing into the hips. Relaxing into the pelvic floor. Slow and steady breaths. Really embracing this wonderful, nurturing posture. It's really amazing for the end of the day. If you spend a lot of time on your feet, particularly, relaxes out through the ankles and the calves. If at any point you become dizzy and need to come down, just take your time to do that safely, rolling off of the bolster. But if you can, stay just for another couple of minutes. We're here for just a few more breaths. If you have needed to come down at all, just lying on this side in an embryo or a child's pose or on your back in Shavasana. But if you're still in legs against the wall, taking deeper breaths, just preparing yourself for movement once more. Bring the hands back to the body. Bend at the knees. Bring the soles of the feet down to the wall. Release the strap just a little bit so that you can take that away. And then press the feet into the wall. If you can, lift the hips, slide your bolster away, and gently roll down through the spine. Take a moment just to bring the knees a little bit in towards the chest, knees to chest. Squeeze it there and then roll over to one side and just pause there. And then taking your time to roll onto your knees, coming into a tabletop position. And just release gently through some cat and cows. These do not have to be forced in any way at all. Just be kind and release through the spine. So we're going to come into a supported child's pose from here. This is using our bolster, again, lengthways on the mat. And if you've got 1 or 2 blankets, you might place those at the top for the head. We're going to come as close as we can, bringing the bolster down between our thighs. Knees are nice and wide. And we're going to hug the bolster. Dropping the head down. Making sure that the body is supported here. So the belly hopefully will rest on the bolster. If the bolster is a little bit too far away from you and you've got your blocks handy, blocks tend to lift the bolster up, so you can put the blocks underneath. We're turning the cheek to just one side rather than keeping on the forehead. So now really, really softening in, relaxing the glutes, relaxing pelvic floor, relaxing belly. We don't need to grip, we do not need to tense. Just deepening your breath, preparing yourself to move, bringing the hands by the side of the bolster as you gently roll up through the spine. Take your time, drop the chin towards the chest, bring the shoulders back up in line with the hips, and then start to lift the gaze. So we come into our last posture before we come into Shavasana. Our last posture is called Stonehenge. So this is where we're going to need our 2 blocks and our bolster, so we can place the blocks like they were the Stonehenge monoliths, and then we place our bolster over the top. Make sure that's nice and stable. And come down onto your back. And again, having a blanket underneath the spine helps, and also underneath the head, just in case the sacrum gets a little bit too sore. Then we rest the legs over the top of your bolster. The feet hang off of the ends. Try and nestle the calves and the back of the knees as far as you can into the bolster. And the arms just go out to the sides. Palms are gently face up. Just allow the spine to drop down into the mat, into the blanket. Relax through the toes, the feet, the ankles. Let those lower legs become heavier and heavier as you relax into the knees and the calves. Softening out all the larger muscles in the upper legs, relaxing into the hips and the buttocks. Releasing through the abdomen and the lower back. Spreading the rib cage, the shoulder blades, the upper back. Making sure that there's no tension in the chest, the collarbones, the throat, or the face. The entire body is held and supported. Nurtured and relaxed. We're here for just a few more breaths. Taking a few deeper breaths as you just bring your awareness back and prepare to move. Bring the hands back in towards the body and just bring the right foot and the left foot on top of the bolster, a little bit closer towards the chest, and then draw the knees in. Nice and soft there as you just gently roll and massage out one way and the other. Going to move into our final relaxation in Shavasana from here. So this is the time to reduce the movement and try and get into that posture with as little effort as possible, making sure that you're going to be warm, turning lights off, using eye pillows, and using the props that you already have. So if you've got that bolster on top of those blocks, just simply using that bolster underneath the knees. Maybe the blanket underneath you can cover you, or you might like to leave it there. So coming all the way into your Shavasana, and just making sure that there's nothing that's going to distract you. So if you've got props by the side of you, or you're touching, the feet are touching anything other than the mat, or the hands are touching anything other than the mat, just move those things out of the way so that you're not going to feel distracted as you lie here. Lift up the right leg and stretch it, point the toes, flex into the feet, and circle and rotate, and just let that foot relax and drop. Stretch the left away, point, flex through the ankle, and circle one way and the other, and then drop and let that release. Wiggle the fingers, clench into the fists, and stretch the hands. And take those nice deep exhales as you settle into relaxation. I'll let you know when it is time to come back around. Beginning to take a few deeper breaths now as you bring your awareness back into your surroundings. Back into your space on the mat. Wiggling fingers, moving toes, taking as much time as you need here to awaken from your relaxation after your restorative practice. Taking time to stretch or draw the knees in, roll and massage out through the spine. Roll over to one side to bring yourself back up into a comfortable seat, bringing the hands into Anjali Mudra at heart center. Sitting nice and tall here and just checking in with how you now feel. And know that you can always return to any one of these restorative postures when you most need it throughout the day for balance, nourishment, and relaxation. Always thanking yourself as I thank you. Namaste.